Now we'll talk about measuring lines with the scale so you can understand how to use those measurements. And what we have is a series of lines here, 3 lines each drawn at every different scale of the architect's scale. 1/16 inch equals a foot, 1/8, quarter, 3/32, 3/16, up to 3/8, 3/4, 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inch equals a foot, and 3 inches equals a foot. So how do you measure these lines? The best way to do that is put the beginning of your scale down at the end of the line, and in here at the 16th inch I'll put the 0 in at one end and see whether it's lining up with any number hole at the other end. And I can see in this line that it measures pretty evenly to 1 3/4 inches. But since this doesn't have any calibrations as to what each inch is, you have to add it in your head. Every 1/16 of an inch equals a foot, so the 1 inch is 16 feet, and then every 1/4 inch is 4 feet, so that's 16, that would be 20, this would be 24, and that would be 28. So the first line here would be about 28 feet, 0 inches, pretty much exactly. You really can't get to much more accuracy than 6 inches on the 16th inch scale because you have to interpolate between a whole foot with this. Now we'll go to the next set. Let's see what the 1/8 inch lines look like. We'll take the 1/8 inch scale. We're going to look for the 1/8 inch. That's where it says 1/8 inch here. That means the 0 starts here, and it's the scale that reads 4, 8, 12, 16, so forth, all the way up to 92 feet, with this first foot being the fractions of an inch. So let's see what 1/8 inch, the first 1/8 inch line says. Again, put the 0 at the end of the line. See if you have a whole line at the other side, and that seems to be pretty close to exactly 11 feet. It's 8, 9, 10, 11. Not quite to 12, but you just count past 8. Obviously, it's not 42. That's reading from the 1/4 inch line. So that might be exactly 8 feet, 0 inches. Let's try the shorter line. Drop your scale down, start with the 0 at the end, see if you have a whole number to hit. No, it's somewhere past 5. There's 4. 44 actually means 5 on 1/8 inch scale. So take that 5 to the end and look to see where the line now falls in the inches, the fractions of a foot. So the first inch for 1/8 inch scale is broken down into 6 inches, and then 4 inches, 2 inches, and 0 inches. So we'll look at that line. It looks like it's just past 2 inches, maybe not quite 4. So maybe that's 5 feet, 3 inches. Maybe it's 5 feet, 4 inches. Maybe it's 5 feet, 2 inches. Anywhere within a 2 inch range would be accurate. So however sharp your eyes are, you might say that's 5 feet 3 or 5 feet 4. And that would be that line. Now try it again. You put your next line up there. Always start with the 0 on the end of the line. See whether the other side ends sharply on a whole number or in between. This is in between 24 and 25, so you move the 24 to the end of the line and see where the other end falls in between the fractions of a foot or the inches. So in this case, it's past the 6 and looks like it lines up with the 8. So we would say this is 24 feet, 8 inches. And we would write that like 24 feet dash 8 inches. So you can see 3/32 has a 2 inch accuracy. And it goes from 0 foot all the way up to, here's 100, and it goes over 4, 8, 10. So it goes up to 124 feet at 3/32. The opposite side, 3/16, is twice as big. It starts at 0 with approximately 1 inch accuracy, 6 inches, 3 inches, 2 inches, 1 inch. And it goes 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, all the way up to 62 feet. So we'll see what our numbers are here. Again, you always have to watch out for where the 2 scales cross in between 40 and 44, that you don't mess up your numbers. Let's look at the first number on 3/32 of an inch equals a foot. Put the 0 on the end. It seems like we're pretty close to 16, 12, 16, 17, 18. It's a little bit past 18, so let's slide that over. Lines up, and maybe that's 18 feet 2 inches. So that might be the accuracy for that. You might find it's 18 feet 1 inch, but 18 feet 2 inches. Anything within 2-inch accuracy would be fine. Let's go right on to the 3/4 inch scale. Look at the first of the 3/4 inch scale. Here's 3/4 inch. That's the 0. This is all the foot of the first foot. That's 6 inches, 3 inches, 2 inches, 1 inch, and a 1/2 inch. And it's 0, 1, 2, up to 14. We'll put the 0 on the end of the line. We look at this end, we see it's past 2, but not quite 3. So we'll put it on 2. Forget about the 24 on the 3/8 inch scale. Put it on 2. 2 feet 0 inches, 3 inches, 6 inches, 7 inches, 8 inches, 8.5 inches. Not quite 9, past 8, 8.5 inches. So that's 2 feet 8.5 inches. So we'll write that as 2 feet 8 1/2 inches. That's how we write scale. So that's the exercise of measuring scale with our scales. You'll finish that exercise as your homework, and we will now look at the next exercise in our class here, drawing and constructing geometric shapes.